D.C. area invites Keith back for its own version of Whamageddon. We discuss making money printers coin operators that can stop running out of cash, and apparently birds love hats. And if you thought the $120,000 banana story was wild, just wait till it goes full Florida.
Oh, I've got an idea. Nope, same idea. Robot lady, sound the alarm!
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Welcome again to another week of Another Wasted Hour. As you know, the next hour of your life is going to be replaced with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture. As impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, the band that I assume gang fights against fine young cannibals, we have in studio Andrew from The Most Savage Gentlemen. Andrew,
hey,
welcome.
Thank you so much for having me,
You
guys.
would beat up fine young cannibals, right?
It's a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
It sounds like the name is the opposite, right? Because they're like fine, young, and then they're like cannibals. And you're like, whoa, wait, where did that come from? And you're like, most savage gentlemen. And you're the polar opposites.
We usually get that response like, oh, this is paradox there. And I'm like, yeah, you got it, man.
Definitely. What brought you to the name the most savage gentleman?
All right. So I'll give you the shortened version. So we went, initially we went with gentle savages. And then somebody in the band was like, oh, I think it sounds better, savage gentlemen. And we're like, oh, that sounds cool. And then one night we were trying to make an email address for it, and we found out there's a podcast on the other side of the country called Savage Gentlemen. And then I was on my phone with my drummer, and I was like, well, fuck it, let's just throw a most on there. And then we said together, Most Savage Gentlemen, and they were like, that sounds cooler anyway. And they said MSG. So much you can do with that. So you're like, we're like you, but better. Exactly.
We're better than you.
We skipped more savage and went directly with the most
savager gentlemen.
The most savagest of gentlemen.
We make things sound better and we give racists headaches.
You got us pegged.
So speaking of extremes, you have the most exciting show coming up. Friday, December 20th. You actually have an album release party coming up at DC9 down in DC.
DC9, yes. It's our first full-length album, and we're gonna be. It's already on all the streaming platforms and all that. So, but
oh my God, you mean somebody stole it and put it on the internet?
Put it on there already, man. Like,
you should sue them, whoever they are. Take all their money and give it to you.
Napster got it.
You're like, done.
It's right. That's right. I might not be here if that was the case, right? But no, we're doing DC9 on December 20th, and we invite all of you to come out and join us.
Then are you
bring 8 friends?
Yeah, bring 8 friends
each,
and we'll everybody bring 8 friends, and have those friends bring 8 friends.
That's right.
We'll fill the place.
That's right.
Who the hell has 8 friends at our age?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering myself.
My Facebook says I have more than that. I don't know
most
who
of them
they
are people that you saw once at a show, and then like, who the fuck is this guy?
They're all people whom I do not know, but
there's more than 3 posts, and none of them are racist, so I guess I'll accept.
Right. That's why people don't accept my friend requests.
It's that 4th one that gets you like, there's the racist post.
So is anybody else playing with you?
Yes, Betamax, and they are a phenomenal band, also from the DC, Alexandria, Arlington area. And we were with them today making a lot of music.
Nice. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that a little later. And you were saying that one of the good friends of our show here, Daniel Warren Hill,
yes,
otherwise known as the Yellow Tie Guy, he actually plays bass for Betamax. Right?
He does.
Nice.
He is the singing bass funky man. I met him at what's that little Irish bar in Arlington, the Clarendon area?
Is that Four Courts?
Old Brogue?
Neither one of those. Anyway, it was one of those Irish bars there in Clarendon, and he was playing, and he saw me like just singing along, and he came up to me at set break and was like, "Oh, you play music, don't you?" And I said, "I sure do." And then kind of hit it from there. You know how when you can spot a musician
Yeah.
in the room with you? And so he came up and nicest guy, I swear.
It's way easier in the unemployment line. You can really spot them in the room with you then. Who here's a musician? Who? Yeah, well, all of us. We should make a band.
That's right.
This would be a really good band, guys.
I told you I was going to give you the bridge version of how we became Most Savage Gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's the long version.
It's definitely there's a few places where it makes it a lot easier to recognize a musician in the room.
I wasn't even unemployed. I just went there knowing I'd find musicians.
Yeah, if you go to Guitar Center,
That's where I should go to find drummers.
yeah. Like, all right, before we start this server shift, who here is a musician? Welcome to bartending school. Who here is a musician?
Does acting count?
That's right. I'm an inspiring musician.
That's right.
There's more work there than acting. So we actually have a track from this new album. We have Don't Say
You do?
Anything. Yeah, you sent it to us.
I did.
And then we changed it all. We put it up one octave and cut it down. We didn't actually. So usually we do like, let's say like a 30-second clip or so of the song. In this case, what we did is we just sped it up so it takes 30 seconds to do the whole song.
Whole song.
Yeah.
You know
Don't
what?
tempt me, Keith. I'll actually do it in post.
I wouldn't mind that a bit, actually.
It's for the holidays. It reminds me of the Chipmunks. And they were always a holiday thing when I was a kid. So, but yeah. So once again, Friday, December 20th, album release party down in DC9, Washington, DC. Go check out Most Savage Gentlemen. And you can go to mostsavagegentlemen.com and find out about more shows and more music and things like that. So I have some news for you guys as well. I wanted to share. So last year, as you may have known, there's a thing called WHAMA, which was the Washington Area Music Association. That unfortunately kind of went over.
Let's get really excited about the band.
Wham! No, with an A. There's an A at the end.
Okay.
George Michael.
Yeah. And so that unfortunately folded a few years ago. And they had a thing called the Washington Area Music Awards, the Whammies.
Whammies.
Yeah, get it. And so that kind of went away with it, which was really a shame because it was sometimes like some of the first like notable awards that like local musicians would get. Like, so luckily it came back last year. There's an organization called the Musicianship that basically pulled it from WHAMA and put it on last year. Some mistakes were made, right? Like it's their first year, right? So they don't always get everything right. So,
I never got my nomination in the mail, but I know it was there.
Say the same.
Yeah, no, it's probably there. Probably addresses were missed. One of the things that they got incorrect is that they reached out to me and asked me to be a judge, which is just not a good idea because I can't take that seriously. And so
you're the guy that won't even judge the mixes on your own albums that I've done for you.
Right,
You make
like,
your drummer do it.
All right, so so I'm judging all the pop music and rock music and like hard rock music and all these different things, and I'm like, not enough cowbell. Like you get a 1 out of 10, right? And just making up things like I don't feel like there's enough cats on this track, and like, and I'm skewing all the results, I'm sure, and they're like, who's this one anonymous person who is making the most ridiculous choices in life? And I'm thinking like, this is done, right? Like I've done my due diligence. I've made them go. They even invited me to come out and like introduce one of the awards live. Right. And I like ran around the stage. I was crazy. And now they've invited me back, which
That's probably why they invited you back. You were at least fun.
They said I'm an influencer, a DC music influencer, which I assume means that you just, if you have a crappy like podcast, you are now influencing anyone right now. If you're listening to me, start a podcast and you can be a judge. Anyone can be.
If you're an influencer now, when are you going to start up your premium Snapchat?
My premium Snapchat with my nudes.
No, just close-ups of your beard.
Oh, just close-ups.
What nudes? Who? Ew.
What?
Ew.
What?
Nobody wants nudes. They want beard pics.
You don't like noodles? Everyone likes noodles. I don't understand. Here's some ramen I'm eating. Here's some spaghetti. Check out my nudes.
So you say it as a joke, but I feel like you're about a week away from doing exactly this.
See, I think you need to combine the three: noodles, nudes, and beard.
Yeah.
And there's
a niche there.
There's a market that is untapped, and I promise you.
Probably for a reason.
Yeah.
There's probably a reason why that niche does not have search results when you go to Pornhub.
Well, I remember in the early days of the internet as a young kid when discovering, before Google and all that, it was somehow found a webpage dedicated to lesbian vampire kickboxing.
What?
And that was in the early days of the internet.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to need the name of this website for research purposes.
Yeah,
so I can look up sources for this show.
Sponsorships.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we did that. So in college, my roommate in college and I did this, where instead of using Yahoo or any of those types of things, we literally just tried to type in domain names we could think of. And that's how I found the smart car. Right? Because I typed in smart.com to see what would come up, and a smart car came up, and I was like, that's awesome. I want one of those. But it was in England. Like, you couldn't even get them at that
those
point.
weren't here then.
And so we had a bunch of them. And so yeah, that was an offshoot of another game we played called 1-800 whatever the word was we could come up with. And then and so we would like call 1-800 numbers and inform them of what their 1-800 number was. Right? Not the number.
Right.
But we'd be like, "Hi,
do you know?
Citibank. Did you know that your 1-800 number spells beard nudes?" Right? Like, and they'd be like, "Nope." And we're like, "You're welcome." Like, it was a little service that we were doing so that they knew.
You're doing the good Lord's work.
We were doing the Lord's work. So anyhow, if you're interested in how the whammies will turn out, I have no idea, but it should be fun. So I will be judging them, I think. I have to say yes. Should I say yes? I don't know if I should say yes.
So what is your bribe to get second guard on an award?
You have to make good music.
Oh. It's a metal band. Nobody will think it's good music.
I think you have to submit it somewhere. That's the thing, right? If you submit it, I think it can then get into whatever categories. So you should keep an eye out for that. All right. I might have to.
It's more fun if I bribe you, though.
I might have to recuse myself from that category because it's terrible. And you make good music. Stop crying.
Yeah. All right. I'll put your voice back to normal pitch now.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I like it, Adam.
All right, so we've spent enough time on all of this. Don't forget, Friday, December 20th, album release party, DC9, Washington, D.C. It's for the album, from the self-titled album. We've got the track Don't Say Anything. If you want to hear that right now, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, and you can listen to the whole track. In the meantime, you can also go to mostsavagegentlemen.com and go hear music from them and see what other shows are on the docket. We are going to move on, however, to a little bit of hilarity that we like. We like to call it the weather report. There we go. Nailed it. Totally doing this. This is good. So the weather report is, so you're going to be the editor-in-chief of your own publication. We're your loyal reporters. We've gone out. We've found actual news on the internet. We're going to pitch them to you to see if we can get our stories into your publication. So you ready?
Born.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
That is part of life. All right. So let's start off with Adam.
Someone is putting tiny cowboy hats on pigeons in Las Vegas.
Oh, my Lord. I just had a friend literally send me this last night. I should probably warn you guys that I love the news, and from the biggest like mainstream news source to like that little obscure thing that's talking about the pigeons wearing cowboy hats. And I would say, yes, of course that's news. That is most certainly newsworthy. I mean, there's pigeons with cowboy hats on, and what the local bird facilities having to remove the cowboy hats. I think that's what I was reading about.
Are they gluing them on?
Some people are calling them like local animal shelters or local animal rights activists. I call them party killers.
I think here's the problem I have with this, okay? It is that it just reminds me that pigeons are naked. Right? Like, because now I'm like, now you're wearing a hat. And only a hat, you heathen! Jesus Christ! There are people watching.
What are there consequences to pigeons wearing hats? Like, how would that affect, like, you know, the pigeon or our ecosystem? Is that doing anything to like hurt the pigeon? Like, so that was my only question when I was reading the article. Like,
I don't know how it stays on while their head goes back and forth while they walk.
Yeah,
because that's a lot
that's
of
exactly
movement.
why they're asking if it's going to hurt the pigeon. Like, because they apparently, at least when this article was written, they haven't been able to catch one yet.
Right.
They're worried that this guy like super glued the hats on or
something, right?
Right.
Because right now that hat is like a rodeo. If it stays on for 8 seconds, I'm impressed. It's bucking all over the place. So
not all heroes wear capes, but pigeons wear cowboy hats.
Yeah. I wonder if he's gonna change. Like at some point, like he'll get bored of cowboy hats. We're saying he, but it could very well be
a she.
Yeah, it could be a woman. But imagine like how
only men are this dumb.
That's
you know what? Fair point.
I'm just waiting until like they're like, we're gonna track down this guy who's putting cowboy hats on pigeons, and then they look over and there's like one with a beret, and you're like, son of a bitch! He's changed up his MO, and then they have to decide: is it a copycat or is it him? Is he evolving? We don't know. How are we gonna track him if he keeps changing? You're like, I have no idea, but I do know that there's a squirrel over there with a beanie on, and I don't know what to do about it.
Well, can you imagine being the guy in jail? It's like, what are you in here for? Like, you know, berets on pigeons.
Right.
Like, how's that gonna go over?
Right. Is that a gecko with a vest on? For God's sakes. This is not okay. Somebody get this man.
I do got to say, Banksy's work is getting even more challenging.
It is. He's very edgy. Again, I said he. This is my favorite thing. So we keep talking about Banksy, and everyone always refers to Banksy as a he. I desperately want it to be a woman. I want at some point Banksy to come forward and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And it's just a lady, and we're all like, "Son of a bitch."
Was Banksy not revealed already? I thought.
No, I don't. My understanding is that I think there was a documentary where a guy tried to do a documentary like about Banksy, and instead Banksy did a documentary about the guy doing a documentary about Banksy.
So meta.
Yeah.
Banksy.
So whomever Banksy is, brilliant. All right. So is it news?
Yes.
Yes.
Certainly, yes.
All right.
Hooray!
Yes.
Excellent. He's one up on me. Airline opening restaurant that only serves plain food. I know what you're thinking, which is, what were the ideas that they didn't pick up? Right?
I guess I haven't been on a lot of planes where I've been traveling long enough where they're selling, giving me anything but peanuts and things like that.
That's all they serve.
Yeah, like. But there's some flights that they'll say like, well, you want the fish or the chicken, right? Like, that's a thing. So, I mean, do they serve? They don't serve that?
No, it's like they've got chicken and rice. That's like their big thing. There's a rice dish with chili sauce. So this is based out of Malaysia. So it's some of those different flavors that they have there. But still, we're talking about food that you would usually get on a plane.
Right.
And now you're going to a mall to get food. That's like buying Bose where the noise canceling feature is just the sound of an airplane taking off. Like you can't hear anything else around you because it's so loud.
To be fair though, if there's one part of the world where the airplane food version of whatever would still be pretty good, it would be that part of the world.
That's probably fair. This is I just hope it doesn't catch on here, right? Because because if it catches on here, first of all, you'll get free refills on sodas, but only in tiny cups. right? And they won't leave the whole can. We know that.
I actually had someone on my United flight a few weeks ago give me the whole can of Coke, and she instantly became my new favorite person in the world.
Yeah, no, you might have a stalker. That's what that.
Totally okay with it.
Because whenever I ask for it, they give me this look like, "Oh, all right, fancy pants. You want the whole can?"
Look at this bougie asshole.
Yeah, right.
That's like a guard in prison willing to give you a shiv or something, Adam. I swear.
Right.
Like, oh yeah.
I'm like, "Can I have the whole can?" And they're like, "Banksy's getting kind of edgy these days." So yeah, this is a real thing. I don't know what other things. I assume that they will also be releasing a carpet that makes you feel you shock people like you're on a plane. I don't know what other, like they'll have a whole line of lazy boys that are incredibly uncomfortable and tight.
Well, can I pose you guys a question?
Yeah.
Would you go, if it was like next door and it was convenient, would you go there? Would you actually like go eat there just for the hell of it and be like, I went to the airplane restaurant?
I would probably first go, how did I just wake up in Malaysia?
Well, yeah.
I was gonna say, if it was the Americanized version, hell no. The
Right.
Malaysian version,
Yeah.
I'll give it a
Happy to
shot.
be there. Yeah, you know.
That's the thing,
Because it'll
though.
probably still be spicy. And
Yeah.
it'll probably still
Yeah.
have
Right.
like some really decent sauce on it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm down.
But the problem is the one that would be next to us wouldn't be that one.
No, it'd be,
Right?
it'd be peanuts.
Right? It would be like, would you like to get the chicken and rice with white on it? And you're
And
like,
a half
wait,
can
what's
of
the
Coke."
white? That's not a sauce. You didn't say white sauce. You just said a color. That's not a food. Food isn't a color. You can't.
Well, orange.
That's true. That's the only one. Orange chicken. You're like, yep.
Yeah, definitely.
That is
And all
what
the
it is.
Gatorade flavors too.
So yeah, is it news?
Yes, only because it's so stupid.
That's what I strive for.
Yeah,
that's my wheelhouse.
It's like, oh, this is news because that's really dumb, and I'd like to know that sort of thing.
All right, so we're all tied up. Adam.
Banana wall vandalized with lipstick at Art Basel. You might be kind of confused by
No,
this.
I know this one.
You just said words. Can you say those words again to me?
I
Well,
think
I'm going to tell you the whole story because I was
banana
looking
wall. You heard banana wall.
I was looking up articles for tonight's episode.
Yeah.
And everything on the page I normally go to find my weird articles, there was like so many different stories about this fucking banana.
Yep. Banana wall.
So the story goes like this.
Mm-hmm.
Art Basel in Miami Beach, Florida. One of the art pieces was a white wall with a banana on it, just duct taped to the wall,
Yes.
which sold for $120,000.
Banksy.
That in and of it alone could have possibly made as an article for this show. But then, apparently, a Florida man walked in, decided he was hungry, saw a banana duct taped to a wall, and ate it.
Yeah.
Which also would have definitely been an article that I shared with y'all.
Yeah.
But now, a different Florida man has gone up to the same, now banana-less wall and wrote, Epstein didn't kill himself in lipstick.
Oh. Really?
Oh man, that
So it's been a
meme
whole
just won't
sequence of
die.
things about $120,000 banana.
Did this really happen?
This really happened.
Oh man, the world is a wild place. Like there's so many like parts to that story.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't even know where to begin.
I just can't wait to see what happens next in this serialized
Yeah.
drama about the $120,000 banana.
They could make a Netflix series about that, and each part of that story could be a different season.
I want to freak
It's
out
like
my
season 3 of American Vandal.
Yeah. I want to freak out my friends and get one of those fathead stickers. Have you seen those? A fathead sticker is like you can get a big sticker for your wall, like of like Tom Brady or things like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to get one of those of this banana and just put it on my wall. And so people walk in there like, you have, oh, wow. Why did you spend that on the banana? And
Probably be cheaper just to get a roll of duct tape and an actual banana.
it would be, but I'd have to replace the banana all of the time.
If you had that, Keith, I would write on it, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
Just to fit the narrative.
The banana did, though.
It's
Witnesses. Yeah, so is it news?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Is each one news? I don't know. Like that. But you would have to have all three to make it news. So yes.
That's called a triptych.
Yeah. Oh, the triptych. I thought it was a trilogy, but
Yeah. For art terms.
for
I'm
art
just saying.
terms,
Yeah, yeah.
gotcha. Yeah. Definitely.
All right, so-
100% news.
Nice.
I'm seriously hoping that next week's I'll have part 4 of this drama.
I can't even imagine it. There's going to be a banana tree there.
I hate I won't be here to hear it.
Yeah. All right. So news. Here we go. World's largest printer of money is running out of money.
Is that from the United States?
No, it is not from the United States. From the United Kingdom, actually.
Oh.
And I know what you're thinking. You had one job. No, so it's really interesting. De La Rue is a private company that does all the printing for the UK currency.
Yeah.
Right? They don't do it as a government. They've privatized it. Wow. Okay.
Man, and they've shipped it overseas too.
No, it's actually in the UK. The problem is, so they actually also do it for 140 other countries, which I didn't know about. So they've actually designed like 36% of all the banknote denominations in circulation right now.
Mm.
So in the world, 36% of them, they designed them. They didn't necessarily print them all, but they designed them. They've also...
How has this machine not become like the central plot point of the Bond film?
Yeah, right? Because nobody knows about it. They also produce passports for 40 countries. So huge printing company, but they just put out something that says that their finances look precarious and they might end up going under.
What?
Yeah, they might go under.
How are they have the money?
They have the money.
They have. I mean, well.
Well, sometimes it's because of customers.
Right.
So they printed a lot of money for Venezuela, and so they've had
Greece.
to write off 18 million pounds of that because it's not worth the money it's printed on. Right? Not worth the the paper it's printed on. And apparently they've also lost a contract, which is ironic. So when the UK goes through Brexit, they're going to have new passports because they're no longer in the EU. They weren't given the contract for that, despite being a UK company. It is actually being outsourced to Germany to save money. Yeah. So they're just nailing it on all
that's
fronts.
so ironic. I think I just developed bone spurs.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Oh, Lord.
All right, so yeah, that's the news is the world's largest printer of money is running out of money.
I thought you said that. Let me get this right. The U.S. is not a part of that, though. Of the
No, we have the Treasury, right?
And the Treasury here in D.C., right?
Yeah, we have different mints that handle ours,
Right.
but they do it for other countries, including the UK.
Okay, gotcha.
And they are running out of money.
So when I said outsourced, I thought that you were saying, oh, well, they do it for the U.S. as well, because I don't know anything about how our economy works.
No, the
man.
UK privatized their
Their
Treasury essentially.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, for global news, that's definitely news. I mean, that affects the world market in a very big way.
Yeah. I would
so-
think so.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's probably more important than the pigeons wearing cowboy hats. But I'm more interested in the pigeons. But yeah, it's news.
Yeah, if they were to print pigeons with cowboy hats,
Yeah. Oh, God knows.
you could put that
That
on
could
your
be
wall.
the UK's post-Brexit currency.
Yeah,
Instead of the Queen.
yeah, it'd
Just
be
different
perfect.
poses of pigeon and cowboy hat to denote the denominations.
You could print a pigeon with a cowboy hat, put it on the wall, sell it for $100 million or whatever the banana's worth, and somebody will eat it. So it is news. Excellent, Adam.
So we're running a little short on time, so we're going to just fire into a lightning round. We're
Yep.
just going to throw headlines at you.
All right.
If you have questions, that's fine, but we didn't read them.
Chipotle has nurses to ensure workers really sick, not just hungover.
Mm-hmm.
I think every job should have that. So yes,
Obviously,
news.
they haven't seen the news out of Germany that hangovers are now a legitimate disease.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We reported on that, last month?
I thought we were going to say that they should have nurses for the people after they eat their food to make sure it all digests properly. But
I don't need a nurse after I eat Chipotle. I need a bed and a nap.
Right.
that's right.
You have to wait that long. 30 minutes later, Chipotle is out the other side.
There was a South Park about it.
Yeah. All right. So is news, you said?
Yes.
Yep. North America French fry shortage could be on the horizon.
Not enough potatoes. Yeah, that's definitely news. We need to know if we're gonna lose out on our French fries. That's terrible.
Yeah, very important.
That'll be on the front page.
All right, Adam.
South Korean Papa John's debuts American pizza with hot dogs on every slice.
That's an American pizza. Yeah, that's exactly what it would be.
I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna say that is not news.
Oh no!
Oh, no, upset.
That's,
All right.
that's terrible.
Last but not least, TSA says it is okay to pack a whole cooked turkey in your carry-on luggage.
I heard about that.
This is in case you don't want to go to the restaurant that has plain food. You
know,
can bring a turkey.
I actually heard about this on NPR. So,
Nice.
you guys are just as high class as NPR.
That's not true.
Uh,
That would be news.
Well, if you know what, fuck it. If it's on NPR, I'm gonna say it's news, and it's on here right now. And so
Yeah!
you're damn right.
Excellent. I won. I'm going to hit this a bunch of times.
Oh, I hear that. Wait, Adam, are you better known for being the winner?
No, it's not a competition.
It's not. Oh,
We just
No, it
compete
totally-
very bitterly.
No, it's a totally competition. I just won it. It is a competition.
Suddenly the scripts have flipped.
Wait, no, we were competing.
I try. When I found out you guys did this, I was like, well, I'm gonna be easy because all of this seems really interesting stuff to me. So
Yeah, we've had people who are very difficult sometimes. Who
Yeah.
are like, no, I have very high standards for my particular
that's right. I don't know who wouldn't be interested in Chipotle bringing nurses on or pigeons with cowboy hats. That's fascinating stuff to me.
Ironically, they're the same thing.
That's right.
The nurses are pigeons with cowboy hats. And they're like, have you been drinking? And they're like, that's a fucking pigeon with a cowboy hat. All right, go home.
That's right.
You're still drunk. All right, so excellent. How did you feel you did? You might have a future in media.
I mean, if I was an editor for a newspaper, I think that I would. There would be a lot of news.
It would be very thick.
Yeah, there'd be a big damn paper. We would not run short on resources.
Hey, content is king, right?
Exactly. So,
Well, we are talking, as we said before, with Andrew from Most Savage Gentlemen. They're playing their album release party on Friday, December 20th at DC9 in Washington, D.C. We have the track Don't Say Anything from their self-titled album, which is being released that night.
Yeah.
So I assume that this is an instrumental. Is that not true?
Man, well now you're making me regret our decision. No, this is not an instrumental. But there is a moment of silence in the song. But this was actually, so all four of us are writers in the band, and we like to kind of spread the love around. This was written by my good friend and roommate and a drum slut here in town called Joey
Tufts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's drummed with Ben actually, and I heard the podcast you guys did with Ben. But no, his name is Joey Jenkins.
Ah, okay.
And
there's two of them.
That's right. Oh yeah. Isn't every drummer like that though? But
if
no.
they're good enough.
Yeah.
That's the key.
He is.
Yeah.
And I was able to harass him long enough to live with me and be in my band. So we have all formed a band together, and he wrote this song. It's called Don't Say Anything. And it's not only just a really good song, but I think it's appropriate for the times and for the area. Like, we're a political city,
Sure.
DC. So it's fits kind of the feel in this area, in this time and place we are.
What was the inspiration of the song itself? Do you know?
Well, because I didn't write it, I don't want to speak on Joey's behalf, but I'm going to do that right now.
I like it.
I think we're in such a polarized time where you either feel like you can say the way you feel,
Mm-hmm.
but you're often either looked down upon or you're shunned for what you have to say, and
Criticized,
and there's it's just a hyper polarized time and place in life, and that's okay, and it will adjust and evolve.
Yeah.
But I think the message of this song was that everybody, whether or not you lean to the left, lean to the right, you have the ability to have a voice, and you deserve to be heard, and you shouldn't, no matter your race, your gender, your sexual preference, your age, you should not feel bad about feeling the way you feel and thinking the way you think and saying the things that you want to say. And we not only...
You're wrong.
Exactly.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that? I'm sorry. I got caught up.
Yeah. Well, but you're right though. Like it's so hard not to have that kind of visceral guttural reaction. Like, no, I disagree with you. But and that's why we made the song, and that we need to listen to one another, and we need to. Just like it's important to say something, it's just as important to listen.
How about musically? What inspired you musically for this song on the non-lyric side of it? Was there something that you drew from artists or other recordings that you found
it's really
inspiration?
strange with not only with this song, but like we're still trying to find our genre. We like, if you listen to the entire album, it's like one song is funky, one song is hard rock, one song is pop, one song is like a Jack Johnson ripoff, another song is pure like folk and has like, pedal steel and like a fiddle and like things like that. And like the next one is like hip hop and R&B. Like we because we all write and we all just love music, we just consider our genre music. We don't consider ourselves like, oh, we're a hard rock band or a pop band. We like it if it's catchy and it makes your toe tap and makes you want to just feel something. Like that's
Gotcha.
Where we pull our inspiration from.
And for this one, what was that inspiration? Where does this fall on the spectrum of?
I would
Most
really
Savage
compare
Gentleman?
it to do you know what's his name? Bullet in a Target. What's the cat's name?
We're nailing
Citizen
it.
Cope. Citizen Cope.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's got a very Citizen Cope feel to it. Like very catchy hook, but and melodically you can sing along to it, but it's got a deeper message and it's got kind of a little bit of R&B feel to it as well, or hip hop feel.
Well, let's take a listen to it. We've got the whole track at the end of the show. Fast forward to the 1 hour mark. You can listen to that right now. But we're going to take a listen to just a sample here so you know who we're talking to. Obviously, Andrew from Most Savage Gentleman. So this is the track Don't Say Anything from their self-titled album, Most Savage Gentleman.
You got it.
Nailed it. They're going to be releasing this Friday, December 20th. At their album release in Washington, D.C. down at DC9. So let's take a listen to Don't Say Anything.
The rich get richer, the fat get fatter, while we all disagree about which lives matter. The dumb get dumber and the bad get worse, while we praise Mother Earth on paper pages that curse her. The broken are stepped on, the poor get poorer. A mother lost a young son to those who ignore her. But I'm just one of the few like you, so I won't say anything.
Time comes when silence is betrayal. Silence is betrayal.
The calm words of the worthwhile heard by the servile serve to deter from our purpose.
I think you nailed it. Yeah, a little Citizen Cope going on there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, if you want to hear more music from Most Savage Gentleman and check out the other shows that they've got in their lineup, go to mostsavagegentleman.com right now. In the meantime, while you're doing that, we're going to move on and see how Andrew does in a little game show that we've created called Please God, Just Get One Right. Also has a Citizen Cope kind of feel to it.
Oh, yeah?
I was going to go with the fact that I drew from so many different kinds of musical inspirations. Really get your toe tapping, makes you feel something.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes me feel something. All right. So you've listened to the show before, so you know how this goes. We have gotten a category from our previous guest, and we have found 6 trivia questions around this category. You get to your job is to just get one right. If you get one of them right, you win. That's it. It's not easy. I'll admit, you've listened to a lot of episodes. You know that there's a lot of people who have not gotten it. But if you don't get it, you can take that pain and frustration, ball it up into a new category that our next guest gets to try and guess. So are you ready for your category?
Yeah, I am.
You have a little bit more of an advantage than some others because we didn't have a show last week. So if you listen to the last show, you know what the category is. The category is lathes.
Okay, hold on. All right. So I'm going to be completely honest. I debated whether or not to say a word about this, and before I walked in the door, I was like, I'm going to say it. I had an hour and a half drive here.
Yeah.
And I decided to listen to the previous podcast, and I was debating, like, should I? Because I want to give it the fair advantage.
Sure.
And so, with like 20 minutes left in the drive, I got to the point where I found out that Chris Carter, Chris
Von Pimpenstein
decided to leave me with this category. I don't even know what you guys are saying. I rewound it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, I tried to like Google like what is it?
A pole lathe.
Pole. I was like pole lathes.
Pole aids.
Pole aids. I typed in Google pole aids. You don't want to know what came up. But
it's also a niche that has not been tapped.
So Chris, if you ever hear this, I hate you. I would love to work with you, but you are my Newman now.
Well, you can be somebody else's Newman, so think about that.
There you go.
But yeah, last week, Chris Von Pimpenstein Carter came in and he shared a track that he had mixed for Stormy Strong. Very talented producer and mixologist, mixing producer, I should say, in the DC area here. And he doesn't have anything to pitch because he does mixes like in his house. You can't go like watch that or anything, but a very talented guy. Go up to Von Pimpenstein.
That's what he thinks.
Yeah.
He hasn't discovered the pinhole camera in the back wall yet.
Yeah, you hang out there. You just watch.
Trying to see how he EQs his snare.
Sucks at picking categories, I'll tell you that.
Oh, gauntlet thrown. VonPimpenstein.com. Go check him out. He's got a lot of great music. So you have to try and get through this gauntlet of lathes.
What can I ask? What is that? Lathe?
What a lathe is?
Lathe.
Yeah. LAITHES.
No, LATHE.
Oh, THE.
You guys don't know how to spell it, and I'm expected to get what is a lathe?
I know how to spell it.
Yeah,
that
I know
idiot,
what
however.
a lathe is.
What is a lathe?
So a lathe is the machinery. I'm not going to give anything away, am I? I hope not. So it is a piece of machinery in which spins material.
Okay.
So that you can take a blade and shape it. So this is what you would use to make table legs or fashion a spear or anything that would need to be like tapered or carved in a cylindrical way. Bowls are made this way. You carve a bowl using a lathe. Pencils are made with lathes. If you have a wooden pen, that would be made with a lathe, anything like that.
I didn't know whether I was showing my age by being like too young or too old for this.
Okay.
I was like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and a pole lathe is one that you operate with a pedal, right? And it has like a rope that's around a pole, and then you put your material on that, and then you go up and down, and it spins it back and forth. So it's all manual, and that's what Chris Carter does to relieve stress. That's his hobby.
I've so many things I want to say right now, but I'll just keep it to myself.
All right, so Adam, get us started off with a question about lathes.
The lathe is unique in the machine world in that it can perform one special task that no other machine can. What is this feat?
That's a good question.
It's a common saying amongst people who use these machines in machine shops.
Yeah.
What is the one?
Lathiers. I don't know.
Sure, let's go with that.
Lathion.
Okay, so one common trait that they all...
It's one thing.
So basically, if you were to go work in a machine shop and they're teaching you what a lathe is, they'll say something like, and a lathe is the only thing that can do this.
It is particularly unique to all of the other machines.
Oh my God. it can cut through any material.
Oh.
Interesting guess. No, it's the only machine that can build itself.
You
Okay,
can build a lathe
with a
using
lathe.
Mm-hmm.
But is that true? Like, I feel like there's other machines that like could.
You're questioning it? Like,
Well,
I
a
feel
little
like you're
bit.
not coming from a place of expertise.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You're
Not
like,
even a little bit.
whoa, how could that be true? Just 10 minutes ago, I didn't even know what a lathe was.
But you've got what do you call the thing that photocopy like is able to build anything? Like you can build a car with it. You know, like
a 3D printer?
3D printer. Like a 3D printer could 3D print itself, right?
I would expect that that's probably true. But
Maybe eventually, but right now you can print a working 3D printer from a 3D printer.
yeah, so your problem with the 3D printer is the nozzle, right? Since if you're using like plastic and stuff like that, you have to have a heated nozzle to melt the plastic, right?
So you people
But
are
if you-
so much smarter than me. I don't know anything about this shit.
If you make the
We're
nozzle,
not smarter. We just have to come up with trivia questions every week from Wikipedia.
yeah,
And then we write it down so we don't have to even remember
we're
it.
good at bullshitting. That's really what it is. But if you were to make the nozzle out of the plastic that you're putting through it,
Okay.
it would melt the nozzle,
Right.
right? So yeah, you wouldn't be able to make a 3D printer entirely with a 3D printer.
But you can see where my train of thought is with that my questions on
Yeah,
the
no,
lathe and how
Yeah, that's
it's
fair.
the only machine that can make itself.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Well, I trust you guys.
All right. The lathe is a very ancient tool with evidence of its existence dating back to 1300 BC in which civilization? So 1300 BC, the first lathe that we are aware of. People lathing away in 13 BC. This is also known as a bologna machine. They take a block of bologna and they whittle it down to a normal size bologna.
You and your guys and
Yeah.
your baloney love.
They put a pig on the lathe and they whittle it down to a bologna tube.
I was in AP history when I was a young kid, and I still don't know my shit.
All right, come on.
Let's say the fucking Mayans. I don't know.
Oh no,
Ooh.
ancient Egypt.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
they were the first ones to have that. Adam.
Who invented the first fully documented all-metal slide rest lathe in 1751?
And what year?
I feel like the look you just gave me through the camera took a year off the end of my life.
I hate everything about you.
Why couldn't I get the Muppets? God. What year?
1751.
You don't want the Muppets because if you got all the Muppets wrong, then people would make fun of you for not knowing things about the Muppets. Here, people are like, yeah, nobody could have gotten that. You get a free pass, man.
I guess. I just wanted to reach into your bag and pull something out, man. I
My
could have
sack.
Yeah, exactly. Your sack.
All right. We need a name. 1751.
The French.
That's not a name. That's an entire
a
country.
person. Oh, I thought you were saying. Okay.
We need a name of the person who invented it. The French. Nailed it.
Yeah. I thought you were asking. Okay. never mind.
Humans.
Von Man Pippenstein. What was it? Chris Man Pippenstein? That's who
Jacques
invented.
de Vaucanson.
Yeah, exactly.
So he was French. I think you nailed it there.
What?
From looking at the name, it looks at least like a French name. One famous lathe user was Bob Vila.
Oh, get the hell out of here!
He hosted a home improvement TV
I know
show
Bob Vila. He was on Home Improvement.
from 1979 to 1989 before becoming the host of Bob Vila's Home Again. Can you name the first show he hosted?
No.
Honest, I like it.
But I remember Bob Vila.
Yeah, what show was he on?
Other than Home Improvement as cameo.
As cameo.
As a
right?
cameo.
And he was already famous at that point.
Yeah.
No idea?
Home woodworking.
Home woodworking. That's a good guess. This Old House.
This Old House.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You've heard of that, right?
Yeah. I actually have heard of that. I think that was a little bit before my time, but go Bob Vila.
I mean, it's an old house.
yeah.
So,
It's,
yeah. All right, Adam.
an important early lathe in the UK was the horizontal boring machine that was used in 1772. It was horse-powered and allowed for the production of much more accurate and stronger cannons, which they used against us in the Revolutionary War. Where was this lathe installed?
Like what state or city or like?
It's a certain named place in the UK.
We could probably, if you were to give us the city, I think that would also, I would give you that.
Yeah, I'd give them that.
Yeah.
Too, but.
Chris, I hate you so much
He
right
didn't.
now.
He didn't make these.
Yeah,
We
but,
found the questions.
I don't know, man. London, fuck it. I don't know. I don't have a clue.
That is a city.
Yeah.
That is fair.
It was the Royal Arsenal in Woolwich.
Which
All right, last chance. This is your last chance to go home with your very own lathe.
you guys have a lathe here?
Right. You're my lady. Quote, look around you. Can you fashion some sort of rudimentary lathe? Guy instructed Taggart to construct a rudimentary lathe to defeat a rock monster in what movie?
Rock monster.
He actually looks like he has a shot at this. His eyes have lit up. I know you're listening to a podcast right now and you can't see this, but he has this smirk on his face like, I know this. It's
the
right.
most animated he's been all episode.
It's just been him spending this entire time with hatred coming out of his face. And now he has a moment of joy where...
Well, you asked something that I might...
Yeah, Guy instructed Taggart to construct a rudimentary lathe to defeat a rock monster in what movie?
Oh, God. What is the movie where he has the
He's
throwing star?
It's so great because he wished he had one that he could like get. And now he's going to understand what the pain is of not being able to pull one that you should know.
Oh,
he's
man.
like, I wanted the Muppets one. Like, no, you didn't. The Muppets one's terrible. If you want to torture people, give them things that they think they might be able to answer, but can't.
What
is it?
I don't know.
There are people right now listening to this podcast
that are
yelling it.
Yes, I know. And that's me doing it to myself. Oh, God.
All right. We need an answer because this is terrible radio.
That's the answer I'm giving.
That's the answer.
By the way, for listeners, I'm sorry. I'm better than this. I don't know what this shit is. I don't know what they're talking about.
The answer is Galaxy Quest.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking it was, but fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough.
All right. So,
hey, 6 Degrees. I think that one had Tim Allen, who was the host of Home Improvement, which had Bob Vila on it.
You got one right. No, wait. Make up your own question on, please God, just get one right. Unfortunately, you did not get one right. So you are a loser. No, it's okay.
Sound like every woman in my life now.
It is. No, then I would be laughing a lot more. So, it's so cute. We now need a topic, a category for our next guest, and it's up to you. You could give them a softball and make their life better than yours was, or you can pass the pain along from knowing.
I don't want to do that. I believe in bringing people up.
Yeah.
But I'm also I like doing silly, stupid things.
Okay.
So I'm going to do somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Do you know who your next guest is?
Yes, but
Okay.
you don't.
I don't.
We never reveal that. so.
I was wondering.
If maybe you watched our social media.
Oh, I just looked it up. It's that show. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes we announce it. So our next show is actually going to be a special. We're not going to do it our next show because our next show, we're going to have 3 guests in. We're going to do kind of a panel thing. It's going to be a little different. We're trying something new, so it's going to be fun. But it'll be the one after that.
All right. Well, this isn't hard. It's just kind of goofy, and
Okay.
I literally just came up with it off the top of my head.
Perfect. What do you got?
Earnest movies.
Ernest movies. All right, I like it.
I don't know. Hey, next guest. I don't know if you watched Ernest, but I don't know if it's a lead or leave. I still don't know what I was guessing. I still have no idea. So at least it wasn't that.
Interesting fact about Ernest is that he actually got to famous by doing local commercials in each of the different markets.
Yeah, Jim Varney was all about that.
That's what he started as.
Yep.
And then he built up from there to make a character that he made movies about.
Yep.
Which I thought was a really interesting strategy. So there are like local bank like commercials all over the country for like local banks just for him. But so he was like a national celebrity, but only at a local level nationally. It's super weird, but interesting.
You already got source material for asking the questions for next week.
Right.
There you go.
So, all right, Ernest movies next week. All right, so let's move along. We've only got a couple minutes here, actually. So I want to make sure we move forward and do our near and far. There's a really cool project that you were a part of today, which is pretty near, that I think is worth talking about. So let's talk about this crossover project that you just did.
Yes. So we were with this company and group called thecrossover.tv, and it's like a web series, and it is a web series, and they take 2 local DC bands, and they do one original. Each band does one original song, and they film it. And they put it on their series, and the 2 bands come together and they do one cover song that's in the top 100. And we actually did a Post Malone song.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't like to speak illy of any musician, whether or not I listen to them. So I'm just not very familiar with Post Malone's material.
Sure.
But when they posed this to me, I was like, oh, doesn't he do rap? And then I listened to it and I was like, well, that's really poppy. It's like almost like an MGMT song. It's called Circles. Yeah. And we did that one, and it came together really brilliantly.
Interesting fact about Post Malone. He is the only musical artist that can build himself. That's a fact.
He also did local ads and started from the top, or from the bottom, and worked his way to the top.
If you are wondering what a Post Malone lyric is, it's on his body.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's kind of an easy, just, like, oh, we can make fun of him because of the way he looks. But you know what? I don't.
He seems like a talented enough dude.
I have no idea. I have no idea what his material is. But we did a Post Malone song. It went over really well. It's a really, really cool group. And I always love and appreciate things like this podcast that brings local musicians and puts a spotlight on them. So
did you say who you played with?
Betamax. And
So
they're going to be with us on December 20th as well.
Yeah. So you guys have to do something together. It's a really interesting series. So they combine 2 bands, do that cover song.
Yep.
And so a lot of times it's bands that are playing with each other in a show. So
that doesn't sound weird.
Yeah. It's not weird at all. Are you going to do the cover at the show?
We're actually, it's funny, we're thinking about that. We're actually thinking about also doing a Killer song together, because we both, so Most Savage Gentlemen is not only an original band, but we're a cover band as well, and we play all over DC, but we, that's a song that Betamax does as well, and so we were like, oh, yeah, let's do this Killer song, because that's definitely one that people appreciate of, like, the last 30 years.
Yeah. All right, awesome. So you may hear some crossover music at the show on the 20th. So we're kind of running out of time real quick. If you have, you were saying that you have the worst load in ever. I don't know that we're going to actually have time to talk. You want to go for the speed version?
I'll tell you what. How about this? Yeah. I would like to give a quick shout out to my producer of our album, Mr. Jarrett Nicolay. He is the bass player for the band Virginia Coalition.
Fantastic
Vaco.
band. Yeah, Vaco. Been around for a long time.
Big DC band. And he's got his own studio called Mixtape Studios. They're great.
Awesome.
Alexandria. Go check them out.
Yeah, go check them out. And definitely go check out Most Savage Gentlemen. Friday, December 20th, their album release party at DC9 in Washington, D.C. Go pick up a copy of the album, also called Most Savage Gentlemen. Go to MostSavageGentlemen.com to find out more. You see a theme here. Everything is called Most Savage Gentlemen.
MSG, baby.
Yeah, please like our posts, follow us, retweet us, share the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Also, don't forget to review us on Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. If you're an artist, musician, or culture creator in the DC area, we want you on our show. Email us at booking@anotherwastedhour.com. Thanks to engineer Adam, Kevin Evinger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, Figmental Records, Figmental Studios, and Alchemical Records for all of their contributions. But most of all, thanks to our guests, Most Savage Gentlemen, and you, our fans, for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been Another Wasted Hour. If you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.
I've got a government in my head. It's not what it looks like on the outside. And I didn't just come here to break some bread. No, I've heard a disturbance and this is what it sounds like. The rich get richer, the fat get fatter, while we all disagree about which lives matter. The dumb get dumber and the bad get worse, while we praise Mother Earth on paper pages that curse her. The broken are stepped on, the poor get poorer. A mother lost a young son to those who ignore her. But I'm just one of the few like you, so I won't say anything.
A time comes when silence is betrayal. Silence is betrayal.
The calm words of the worthwhile heard by the servile serve to deter from our purpose. Every third word is ductile, charged by our fears and delivered via circuits. Cause free radicals and Gentiles make the state of caffeinated Catholics nervous. But if my people had the nerve to unearth what they know they're hearing underneath the surface, it would go. The last one was too close, this time give them 2 votes. The first one has a yes, and the second one has 2 no. And keep those stocks up, we don't want to lose those. Cancel someone's welfare, money's coming too slow. New apps, new shoes, new shows. Mention war on drugs, hit them with some new dough. And I hope you're taking good notes, cause here's the silencer for the gun with the red, white, and the blue smoke. Lock up all the black men so they can't vote. It's time to set this country back on cruise control. If you're winning the game, don't say anything. If you got a 401k, don't say anything. So much is a shame, yeah. Oh, but don't say anything, cause it's a beautiful day. To cease. You need a reason to believe that it's the season. You can hear it in the fall of every leaf. And the seeds as they grow, they don't know what we know. And far too many learned it after their release. Their family trees catch diseases, and the roots beneath the tree says there's far too many branches with police. The militarization of our nation's foundation, the wheels and the cogs and the grease go beyond where they need it. They feed us, we eat it, we read it, we watch it, we live it, we bleed. If you've got something to say,